Hello, I'm Laura from ACE Dance Studios, and I thought I should record my ACE ToneTime workout for you to enjoy at home when you have the time. The 45-minute workout is very classic in its approach. So we do 10 to 12 minutes, I'd say, of pulse raising to begin with, just to get your body going nice and warm. Then we work on the arms, we work on the legs, we work on your core, and then we do some whole body, couple of exercises at the end when we're really nice and warm and we're working super hard before having a nice stretch to cool down. So like I said before, it's about 45 minutes. I'm going to record the whole session, and then you can choose which bits you like, or you can just blast through the whole 45 minutes. Unlike in my usual class, I will do some little moments of pause in between so that you know you can stop this one and start it at another time if you fancy. One day I'm just going to do the legs and the tum, and the next day I'm going to do a whole body and a bit of pulse raising, so you can chop it up as you like. So you need a little bit of space like I've got. You're going to need something to drink. You're going to need a mat shortly as well, so have one of those nearby, or a towel, and a cushion as well. So just keep those things nearby. We're going to start with some music, and we're going to be loads of points as you go through, but like with anything, if you are feeling in discomfort and any pain, then you must stop. All of these exercises, you should feel like it's hard work because you know you're exercising, but it shouldn't feel uncomfortable or anything untoward. So make sure you stop, listen to your body. It might be that you just need to catch a breath and just rejoin back in when you're ready. The beauty of this video is there's nobody there watching you. You can do it at home, the comfort of your own surroundings, so you can stop and start as you want and just hopefully have some fun. So I'm going to start the music. Hopefully you can hear it nice and well. I'm in my spaces here. I'm going to take my feet wide. My toes are pointing towards the corners. My arms are outstretched. I'm going to take a gentle squat. Just letting my arms swing down and up. Just get the body down. So you can just do the arms here if you like. You want to start on an easy and just see how it goes. Or if you want to work a little bit harder, just a small squat, my toes pointing towards the corners, keeping my shoulders in line with my hips. My hand comes down to my hips. I'm doing hamstring curl. I'm lifting my heel up towards my bum, reaching it back towards my waistband around the back. So wherever your waistband is, really aiming for it. I'm keeping my hands on my hips for now, and I'm trying not to bounce too much. I'm trying to keep it nice and steady, but really concentrate that work. You're going to start that engaging the core, whatever that means. But I can tell you a really good top tip. You imagine that time when you're putting on that pair of jeans, and you've got to pull that tummy in a little bit tighter in order to get that button and that zipper done up. That's engaging your core. So do that for me now. Have that feeling of pulling in order to get that zipper up. And if you're ready, we're going to add in some arms. So my arms are going to start chest height, bringing my elbows back. So I'm really squeezing my shoulder blades and keeping my elbows nice and high. So we're not flapping around here. We're really strong and direct. You can keep your arms there, or you can take them above your head so your arms are top. Okay, so you've got a couple of options. You can work on that level from the beginning of the hamstring curl to the end. We're going to change exercise and do little squat press. So if you see I'm moving through a squat in the center, I'm pressing the heel of my hand towards my opposite wall. I'm really getting a length and a feeling of work down into my core. You can take the hands up, so really tipping and stretching over. Now, if this is too much, you don't have to squat in the middle. You can just transfer your weight and use those arms in a jabbing motion, transferring from one foot to the other. But if you're feeling like you can push a little bit harder, I would encourage you to do a squat. Why not? Go for it. See what happens. You might get a sweat off. That's going to be good. That's what we want. A little bit of squat. A little bit of sweating. Ready? We're going to go back to the top with a squat. That's good. So if you're really feeling it now, just do the arms. And if you're really feeling like you want to push it further, then come on, let's do squat. That's good. Lovely. So we're in a few more here. So again, just the arms. And catch your breath. Or with a squat, if you prefer. Or you can be somewhere in between, get a little mini squat, but whatever you do, really get those arms working. I'm going to take my hands on the hips, so hamstring curl again. Extending that heel back really far. That's good. So keeping my hands on my hips, or taking your arms in at chest height. So we've got some options. breathing that core in. Remember that feeling of doing up those jeans. That's it. Elbows nice and high. Don't let them flop down by your waist. Let them lift up behind you. That's good. 3, 2, 1. Take a little march. Good. And we're going to move on to our squat section now, okay? So, with anything, I like to think of a sofa here. It's a good example. I'm trying, imagining I'm sitting on that sofa, but I'm hovering. I'm reaching forward, I'm bringing my ribs, dropping my chin, and I'm bouncing my bottom like I'm bouncing my bum. So we're going to do some steps in and out to begin with. Go this way. Down, and then, down, and good. So you can either keep it kind of on a level, so my knees are bent in the center, or you can come up to standing and drop down to the squat. You've got a proper choice. This one we're going to hold. So I'm going to find that feeling, like I was demonstrating, hovering over the sofa. You can imagine you're maybe on one of those toilets you didn't really want to sit on. Want you to rest your ribs, drop your chin. Coming up, and we go again. And set. And set. So again, find that feeling of engaging your core. So that sensation of like your jeans, got to pull them in to get that button at the top done up. That's good. Next one we're going to hold it. Then you bum back, ribs down, chin down. If you want to work a little bit harder, flex your toes off the floor. Reaching forwards with my hands. That's to help me balance. Not the whole body is bouncing, just the bum. And here we go again. Out, and in, out, and in. If this is getting too much, you can just transfer your weight and wait for the next set of squats. Ready? 5, 6, 7, we get toes off, chin down. That's it, little bottom action. So it's not my whole body, it's just my bum. A bit like a jockey. Coming up, last time. Let's go this way. Out, and in, and out. So remember, you can drop it really low each time if you really want to work your squats, or you can take it just an out and in if you feel like it's a bit much. So it doesn't matter where you are, just work within your means. We're going to do a few more outs and in. Out and in. Out and in. Out and in. 4 more. That's 3. You do really well. Keep going. That's it. Next one we're going to hold. Are you ready? Hold it. Toes off. Ribs down. Chin down. Stick that bum back. That's good. Little bounce. Stick the same basketball ball with your bum. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a march. Well done. Good. So we're going to move on to a slightly different squat now. So I'm going to take my feet wide towards the corners, just like we did at the start. My hands rest on my hips. And I go straight down and straight up. So down and up. So join in when you're ready. This is a nice little breather moment. So I want you to really try and not send your head forward every time you do it. Think of yourself as going in and out of the toaster like a piece of bread. So you've got to stay nice and long and lean from your shoulders to your hips. Good. This time we're going to hold it. Have a little bounce. That's good. So again, just like before, if you want to work harder, take those toes off the floor. That's good. Take nice deep breaths. This isn't going to last forever. So we're going to march, march. That's lovely. I'm marching once. Hands on my hips. Let's go again. Down and up. Now I like to have my hands on my hips. You might like to have your hands here, or here, or here. Who cares? Just put them somewhere so you don't have to worry about them. That's it. Next one, we're going to hold it. Bounce. And relax. So really trying to push those knees back. So we're working this part of your body here. Keep going. Can you get lower? Don't worry if you can't. If you can't, then stop. That's all fine. Okay, we're going to march. March. All right, got one more little bit in that squat shape. Come on. Let's do it. We walk in now. We're going to go straight down and hold it. Ready? I'm going to lift my heels off the floor. Heel, replace. Heel, replace. Good. Nice breath. So this is really working those little tiny muscles underneath there, as well as the glutes. That's what we like. Good. Nice breath. And up. Keep pulling that core in. Remember that feeling doing up that top button. Can you take them both off? Off. Replace. Oh, I really feel the burn. Yes. join you again. Last one. Let's march. Excellent. Okay, we're going to do some different types of lunge squats now. I'm going to turn myself sideways on. I'm taking my legs as closest to my banner in front. Just my toe behind, hands on my hips. I'm dropping my knee to the floor. Knee to the floor. So it's an up and down movement, not a lunging forward movement. That's important. That's good. Nice straight body. So we're in a lovely straight line. Now then we're going to hold it. 8. There's a mean one. Keep putting this in nice here. Keep thinking about that button. And then swing this leg forward. Swing and tap. That's it. So just let that leg go. If you want to work this bit a bit harder, you can drop it down to a crouch. We can mix it up. Do a little bit of work each. That's it. Keep going. So either tapping or dropping to a lunge. We're going to do some more bounces. Let's go. So make sure that your chin is in line with your belly button. It's not over here. I don't care how big your belly is. Your chin is not over there. Keep it in check. 4, 3, 2, 1. So me. Ow. March to the wall. March to me. You're going to go this way. Do exactly the same thing on the other side. So I'm taking my leg as closest to my banner. In front. Toes tucked under. Hands on my hip. Knee goes down. Down. And up. Good. So think about go straight down, straight up. No in between. So we've got 4 more here. 3. Looking good. Yes, next time we're going to hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to swing it forward. Swing. Tap. Remember you can drop it. So you can choose if you're a tapper or a dropper. You choose. We're going to do 4 more here. Whichever one you're choosing, or you mix it up like I am. 2 more. Last one. Hold it there. Got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You can do it. Come on. 2, 1. March. Well done. Very good. I've got a sweat on. I hope you have. All right. Last little bit for our pulse raising. We're going to do staggered squats. Out to the side and sucking your foot back in. So I'll demonstrate. You join in when you're ready. I go out, 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 suck it up. Out, 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 suck it up. So when I'm doing that sucking up, I'm thinking of it coming from my belly button. Almost like you're being picked up by your belly button. So don't think about bringing your feet together. Think entirely about your belly button. Really working that workout. This time I want you to send your nose really far forward. That's it. Woo. Keep going if you can. If this is too much, just take it to a gentle march and just catch your breath. Good. We're going to do 2 more. 1, 1, 1. Suck it up. Last one. 1, 1, 1. Suck it up. Take a march. All right. Last little bit of pulse raising. Promise. Okay, so take a little march. This is just going to start to work your obliques, so this muscle that goes across the body, or we like to call it muffin top. It's going to help with the muffin top, okay. So I take my knees high, my arms go up, and I bring my elbow to my knee. Just join in when you're ready. So very, very careful that I'm not taking my nose to my knee. My nose is staying still. And my knee is coming towards my elbow, not the other way around. Keep going, nice stretch. Up, stretch, stretch. Got to stretch in between. My arms are really stretching. I'm not messing around now. Come on, you can do it. 4, 3, 2, and 1. March. Very good. That is your pulse raising done. Supersonically brilliant. So I'm going to take my feet wide, because it's important that before we go down to the ground, onto your mat, that we just bring our heart rate down. So just like we did at the beginning. But a little bit slower. A little bit slower. Concentrate on your breathing. Breathe in your own time. Don't worry about what your arms and your legs are doing. That's good. All right. So we've come to the end of our pulse raising. Bring your feet together, give your shoulders a roll. Excellent. Now is going to be the time to grab hold of your mat and have a little sip of drink. We're going to take it down onto the floor. I'm going to just pause the music and then we will see you in a second. So, you should have got yourself a little drink. You should have got your mat set up. I've just adjusted my camera slightly so you can hopefully see me a little bit better. Take your drink down there with you. Grab yourself a cushion as well. It doesn't matter if you haven't got a mat. A towel is just great. Something that's just going to take the edge off being on a bare floor, whichever type of floor you might have. So I'm going to take myself down into all fours at the moment. So we're going to start by doing some gentle box press ups. So lots of tips for you to think about now. We're going to start by doing tricep dips, which are the most challenging, in my opinion, which is why we're doing them first, we're getting them out of the way. So if you just come onto your knees and just place your hands directly, palms outwards in front of your shoulders. And as you press your hands away, as they come back in, your elbows should brush the side of your ribcage until they go all the way behind you. So you become a bit like a grasshopper, I suppose. So this is your tricep here. So we're really trying to work that bingo wing. We all know about that bingo wing, okay? So I'm taking myself onto all fours, like so. And I'm making sure that my wrist is underneath my shoulder and my knee is underneath my hip, so we're not too far underneath. You can be further away with your knees if you want to work a little bit harder, that's fine, but you don't want them to be underneath your belly button because we're not really getting much of anything good out of that. So choose where your knees want to be, and be very important that they're not close together. They are hip distance apart. So I'm making a box shape, and the points of my box is wrist 1, wrist 2, knee 1, knee 2, and they're all in line with each other. Now you'll notice that your back will naturally want to curve, that's fine, but what I'd like you to do is just encourage it into a more flat position. And by doing that, I'm just tucking my belly button up in towards my spine, just to encourage that nice flatter back shape. So I've got to send my nose further forward than my fingertips in order to try and get that tricep position and then push the floor away. It is a very difficult press up to do. So do not feel disheartened if you get down there and go, oh my God, I can't do that. That's absolutely fine. It's better that you give one a go, and then hopefully next time you'll be able to do 1.5, and the time after that 1 3/4, and eventually before you know it, you'll be able to do 4 or 5. You can, if you're confident with these, obviously take your knees further apart and take it down this way. Or if you're super confident, you can do a full tricep press. And those leg positions are the same for each of our triceps. So just today, I'm going to do 5 in each position. So I'm going to do 5 in my tricep position first. So if you'd like to join me, if you're confident and you can do more, then obviously go for it. And if you can't quite manage one, that's fine, just do as much as you can. So I'm pulling my belly button up towards my spine. I'm sending my nose forward, and I'm pushing the floor away through the heels of my hands. And each time I drop down, my nose goes all the way down, and I'm pushing the floor through the heels of my hands. You can also think about pulling up through your belly button, because that's a really helpful way of pushing your body up. So pull up through the belly button, just like we did in those squats at the end of our pulse raising, pushing up. Excellent. So we take a little rest there. You might feel it on your wrist, so do rest in between. And we're going to move on to a classic press up next. So classic press up, we know our hands go wider than our shoulders. If you've got a mat, your hands are probably going to be on the mat's edge, which is annoying. And again, you need to think about where your hands are in relation to your shoulders. Tends to happen as we do this, and we drop our nose between our hands. That's not where we want to be. You want to have your arms wrists in line with your shoulders. And again, my head is going forwards, and I'm pushing the floor away that way. Okay, so think about where you are. Think about pulling that belly button up into that spine. And I'm going to drop down, all the way down, nose in front of the line of my fingertip, push the floor away. A really good way to think about it is your nipples, because we've all got those, have got to end up between your hands. So that's where you're lining up. Good, we're going to do 2 more here to make it 5. So pushing the floor away through the heels of my hands. That's it. I'm pulling up through my belly button. Excellent. Have a little rest. Right, the last one we're going to do is, I like to call them Spider-Man, but I have heard that they're called Eagles and SAS ones and all sorts. So your arms are as wide apart as you can, and your fingers are close together. And so your arms will bend up this way. So we're really defining this part of the shoulder here. So I'm just going to come slightly off of my mat. I've got a bit more space with my attractive banner. So my hands go wider than my mat. I could probably go on a little bit wider. So my knees for this one, I'm going to choose to be a bit further away. If you're doing a full leg position for this, your feet need to be wide as well. So you do become like a spider. Okay, so you can choose, but that's really important. So we're dropping it all the way down. Fingers are glued together, pointing outwards, thinking about where my chest is in relation to the rest of my hands. So I'm dropping down, squeezing up to come up, all the way down, all the way up. That's good. 2 more. Press. And if you can manage another, press. Excellent. We're going to do that round again. We're going to go a little bit quicker this time. So we're going to do 5 in each position. Coming into our tricep to begin with. Ready? 6, 7, and I go 1, and up, and 2, and up. Don't be afraid if you need to go a bit slower, or you can't manage 5, like I said before. Just do as much as you can. You don't have to trace my timing. You can go a little bit slower if you need to. So I'm now going to take my hands to a classic traditional press up position. So my hands are just on the edge of my mat. I'll take myself a bit further forward so you can see me a little better. Ready, and 1, and press. So pulling up through my belly button. It's as if my belly button pulls me towards the ceiling. I'm pushing the floor away through my hands and keeping my chin and my nose very much in front of my fingers. So we're really working your shoulders and your arms. Right. Oh, last little bit. We're going to do those Spider-Man ones again. So fingertips glued together, pointing outwards. Thinking about where your knees and where your feet want to be. Ready, and drop, and press. So I'm going to do 5 again. If you can do 5, that's wonderful. If you can do 1, that's wonderful. Just do what you can do, and stop and rest when you've had enough. Good, I'm going to do 1 more. I'm really pulling in my tummy, pressing the floor away. Oh, hardcore. Excellent. Right, that's our press up section. So I'm going to move into my plank section now. And for this one, I'm going to put a tiny bit of music on because I'm going to be using the music to help me to count where I'm going to be for each bit. So for your plank, classic traditional plank, my elbows are underneath my shoulders. I'm stretching my feet far away, and I'm pulling my belly button in, squeezing my glutes. If this is too much for you, just drop your knees onto the floor. And by too much, if you're shaking, or if you feel like your lower part of your back is really coming under some pressure, drop your knees on the floor, but keep your toes tucked under, okay? So, we're gonna use the beat of the music to time us. I'm a dancer, as most of you will know, so everything I do has to be usually by the count of 8. So we're going to use that to our benefit today. I'm going to hold for 8, rest for 8, hold for 8, rest for 8. If you're feeling brave and you can keep going, miss out some of the rest, or miss out resting for a whole 8. So it's entirely up to you. I would recommend dropping your knees on the floor as a last resort, and even if that becomes too much, then just rest and join back in with the next exercise. Okay, so I'm thinking about my position. Ready, 6, 7, and I press up. So you've got to be careful so your bottom isn't sticking up. You bring it down, and I squeeze my glutes in. I'm pulling in my belly button, just thinking about that extra tight pair of jeans, and we rest. Good. 7, and we take it up. I'm pulling my glutes in. Try not to drop your chin on your chest. You need to be looking at your hands. And rest. That's good. Here we go again. Take it up. Excellent. Now for the doubly hardcore of you, you can do a walking press. So we'll rest once more, and I'll just demonstrate a walking press, press plank if you want to. So you can go up, and you can walk your hands up and down. So really, really trying to keep that belly button nice and still whilst you walk, and take a rest. All right, we're just going to draw your bottom back towards your heels. Stretch your hands out far away, rest your forehead on the mat. Oh, just relax that lower half of the body. Excellent. Right. So that section was predominantly for your arms, beginning to work on your core. So that's that section done. I'm going to move down onto the legs. So you can either pause now and do the legs another day, or if you're up for it, you can carry on with me. So I'm going to take myself down onto my mat. I'm going to go on my side. I'm making myself nice and long and lean. So I want you to think about that squishy bit of your butt quite like what's sitting on. You've got to roll your hips forward so we're really nice and stacked. My legs are long, and I'm pulling up underneath, so I'm not resting into my shoulder. There's a big distance between my earlobe and my shoulder, and I'm pulling up my ribs underneath, and I'm just going to lift and lower this top leg. Here I go. Lift and lower. So if you want to work a little bit harder, already I'm flexing that working leg. If you want to work harder still, just give a little rotate in the ankle. So you're leading with the heel and your toe is going down. Now already I'm starting to slouch, so I've got to really think about pulling up. So we're working right down into these obliques here. If you want an extra workout, then try and not do it with your hand on the mat if you want to really test that core today. Good. We're going to keep going. Keep lifting up in here, lifting up in your ribs. Excellent. If it gets too much, just stop, recover and join back in when you're ready, or release and relax that flex in the foot. We're going to take some M shapes. So I go forwards and back on top. Forwards and back on top. So I'm making these M shapes. So it's like I'm drawing an M with the underneath of my foot. So the bigger the M's, the harder you're going to work. And if you want to work a little bit harder, then just take it slightly behind like I just did there. Good demonstration. Kick my banner. That's good. Keep lifting up in that rib cage. 8 little knee ones. 8, 7, 6. Don't wiggle here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whoa, that's a mean one. Give it a squeeze, give it a shake, whatever you need. Excellent. I'm going to grab my cushion now and get myself a bit comfy. Oh, so I'm going to use it. Doesn't matter what the top half of your body does for this next section. So you can be here like I am. You can be fully relaxed. Whatever you feel is comfortable. So this is a butt clencher exercise. But it's very important that you really focus on the relax. So as you're lying here now, catch your breath. Take a moment. And I'm going to concentrate on squeezing my pelvic floor. So squeezing essentially like you need a wee. And then squeezing the very, very top part of my inner thigh. The very top bit. You know where I mean before I get to the other bit. Squeezing that. And I'm also going to squeeze my glutes. And if I squeeze all 3 of those, if I'm really lucky, my foot might come off the floor. If it's just even like a little gnat's breath. Okay, so I'm really squeezing. Squeezing and releasing. So the release is just as important as the squeeze. So squeezing your pelvic floor. Squeezing the inner thigh, top of the inner thighs. If there's a £50 note there, give that a squeeze. Hold on to that 50. And squeezing my glutes, my butt cheeks. That's good. So we're really working 3 very important parts of the body that don't get an awful lot of attention, but are very helpful in lots of different areas of life. We're going to take a couple more here. So you're just doing this entirely in your own speed. Try not to think about lifting your foot off the floor. Just if that happens as a result of the squeezing, then that's nice, but it does, it's not the be all and end all. All right, now I'm going to see if we can get it lifted off. So I'm going to do a little squeeze, a bit of a bigger squeeze, and a huge squeeze, and then relax. Again, that relax is really important. So keep thinking of those 3 stages of squeeze. So I do small, big, bigger, release. Small, big, bigger, release. Small, big, bigger, release. That's good. So this really interesting workout, this one. Because the top half of you could do this whilst, you know, watching your favourite programme or during the ad break. You know, thighs are steel. And buns are steel too. And goodness knows about your pelvic floor. Pelvic floor of steel. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? One more of these. Then you're going to hold it there and I'm going to flex that foot. I'm going to draw a little circle with my heel. So I'm keep squeezing to keep my foot off the floor. I'm going to let that circle get bigger. Now you really feel it. And bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and bigger. And then I'm going to reverse it. So it's a big circle and it's getting smaller, but you've got to keep squeezing. Getting smaller like it's going down the drain. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Wow! That's the killer, that one. Very good. Right, I'm going to bring my feet together. And I'm going to draw, imagine I can super glue the inside of my foot from my toe down to my heel. And do the same on the other foot and super glue them shut. And then draw them up towards my bum. I'm going to place my hand on my hip and I'm gently encouraging my hip to stay rotating slightly forward. We're just going to do a nice clam lift. So I'm just opening and closing. So excellent. So if you want to just make this a really sustained sequence, don't let those knees touch. It doesn't matter how wide open your clam can be. That sounds dreamy, doesn't it? What matters is that you do this nice and slow and contained. So if I apply a little bit of pressure here, then I should really feel that isolate the muscle at the top of my leg. Equally, if I apply a little bit of pressure in my feet, so where we've super glued them, as your clam opens, just press your feet slightly together, and that's just going to intensify a little bit. You can probably feel that. But it's important that you're not just flapping around. It's important that you've got it really controlled. So getting some resistance, just like you would if you were using a weights machine. We don't have a weights machine, so we're going to use our body as our own weights machine. We're going to work against your own body in order to get it to work a little bit harder. Yeah, there you go. Feel that burn. That's it. A couple more. And one more. Lovely. Okay, take a little stretch or a shake, whatever it is you need to do. So we've done everything on this side of the body for the legs. So I'm going to flip over in order to do it on the other side. Have a sip of drink on the way if you want to. If you're doing just the legs today, do make sure you do both, otherwise you might end up as a wonky donkey. So very carefully coming up to seated. Just shifting myself over. And then we're starting by lining ourselves up, thinking about where my elbow is. My fingertips are resting here for some balance, but remember you can always work a little bit harder and keep your hand on top if you're feeling fruity. And lifting and lowering. So I'm starting by flexing that working leg. And I'm rotating it in the ankle, so I'm leading with the heel. And I'm pulling up under here in this rib cage, so I'm trying not to slouch. Really pulling up. Excellent. Keep looking dead ahead. That's it. Nice space between my ear and my shoulder. And I'm really trying to lead with the heel if I can. So it's really working up the outside of the leg. And if you just think of it more like a pulsing action, so your feet don't come together between each lift, you're going to be really working those inner thighs as well. We're going to do a couple more here, and then we're going to do our little M shapes. Ready? 4, 3, 2, 1. We do forward and back and top. Remember, if you want to work a little bit harder, you can go back and behind. So you can take that foot behind. And if you work those ends nice and big, you're going to really feel it. So just keep them small. If you feel like that's really intense, and don't be afraid to stop and restart. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Just work, listen to your body. You know when you can push further, and you know when it's just not worth it. But I would urge you to just not switch me off. Keep it going, if you can. That's it, we're going to do one more M. And back, then 8 little mean ones. So lift up in here. That's it. Keep lifting, don't be a seesaw. 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Oh my word, Oh gosh. So thankfully, I get to rest. It always takes this leg, for me, a lot longer to relax. So just be careful. Remember to take nice deep breaths. Because if you don't breathe a lot, nice deep breaths, that's when you get cramp. And that's no fun for anyone. So when you're relaxed, we're letting the upper half of the body just chill out. And then we're really focusing the mind on those three key areas. So the pelvic floor gets the squeeze, the tops of the inner thigh gets the squeeze, and the glutes get a squeeze. And if you combine those squeezes, you can start thinking about, does that have any reaction on my under leg? Do not worry if nothing happens. Okay, you're just exercising those parts of the body that don't get a lot of exercise but need a lot of exercise that they can work appropriately and keep us all in check. So keep squeezing and releasing. And if you get a little action of this, then that's great. Equally, don't worry if you feel like, oh, on the other side I could really get my foot off the floor, on this side I can't. Completely different sides of the body will make a big difference if you're left-handed or right-handed. Will make a big difference about those practical things that you do every day. Which side is the body you bend down on to pick up things up? All of those things make a big difference. So don't worry. Just try and concentrate on those squeezes. And the releases are just as important. So don't forget the release, because the more you release, the harder they've got to work to get the squeeze going. So they're really getting lots of attention. So a couple more here. And release. One more, and release. Then we're going to do our little rises. So a small one, a medium one, a huge one, and a release. Small, medium, huge, release. Small, medium, huge. Don't forget all about those areas. Don't forget both bum cheeks. Don't forget both parts of the inner thigh. Can you get them to touch, to squeeze tight? They're probably touching already. But can you get them to squeeze? That's the key. That's it, good. So little, medium, big release. Yes, there we go. Release. Two more here. Before we hold in that nice high release. Ready, hold it, and squeeze, and circle. I'm flexing that working foot, and I'm drawing a circle with the heel. I'm squeezing my inner thighs. I go bigger and bigger. Keep squeezing, squeezing, and bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and bigger. Reverse it. So big circle to begin with. Quick squeezing. Squeeze, get smaller, get smaller, get smaller, like going down a drain. Tiny like a pin. And rest. Well done. Right, bring my feet together. Okay. Super gluing the insides of my feet together, drawing my knees towards my chest. Hand on my hip, and I'm just encouraging my hip forward before it is on my clam. So I'm lifting and releasing. I'm going to move my cushion for this actually. It's more hindrance, get me out of shape. So gently lifting and gently lowering. Remember, if you don't bring the knees together to meet, then you're going to get a little bit of a deeper workout. And if you gently press forward with this hand as you open up, you're going to be as if you're giving yourself your own weight workout. Same with those feet. Yeah. You will notice that on one side you will feel like this is slightly easier, you have more range of movement. On this side I've got very bad range of movement. Even though I'm a dancer, I've got shocking flexibility in my hips. It's just the way I'm made. That's all right. Can't be good at everything, eh? Got to give other people a chance. So that's okay, but this is just really working all the way around the top. A garter of discomfort, I would say. I did call it garter of pain once, and then I thought, no, that's not right, is it? No one wants to really feel like they're in pain. A little bit of discomfort and a bit of, oh, yeah, I can feel that working. That's all right. So lifting and lowering. Keep squeezing his feet and lowering. One more. And good. And rest. Give your legs a stretch. Give your toes a little rotate. Okay, so that is the end of our leg section. So you can press pause now if you're going to do some other sections, or you're going to come back and do some more later on. If you're happy to carry on going, we're going to move down to do our core workout now. So I'm going to spin myself, gently sit up, spin myself around so I'm sitting sideways onto you. Now is a good time to have a drink, but make sure you just have a little sip. You don't want lots of water sloshing about when you work in the eccentric because it feels a bit weird. Okay, so we're going to start by doing some Russian twists. So I make sure that there's a gap between my feet, about hip distance apart like so. So my feet aren't together nor are they very far apart. They're my hips and my heels are directly in line with each other. That's really important to begin with. I grab my hands onto my shins, I pull my back up really nice and tall. And imagine you've got something balancing on your sternum, on your breastbone. And I drop my head back so my chin is lifting towards the ceiling. And on whatever it is I've got balancing on my chest, I'm thinking I've got to hold it there until we reach that biting point where you feel like your toes want to come off the floor. Now just balance your toes on the floor and we're going for a little row. So I'm dropping my elbow down past my waist and then up past my ear. So it's a nice big figure of 8. Thinking about whatever it is you've got on your ribs, on your chest. So try and keep that still. So you're really working the lower part. If you want to work a bit harder, you can take your feet off. That's up to you. I would recommend keeping them crossed because it's sort of a bit easier to have them flailing around. So here we go. Nice deep breaths. Keep pulling that chest up towards the ceiling. Head is up to 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now we're going to go fast. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Reach forward towards your toes. Stretch out your lower back. Ooh, yes. Hello, abdominals. You've been rewoken. So I'm going to take my cushion now. Going to get comfy. I'm going to go all the way back. Rest my head. Ooh, and my shoulders against the mat. Okay. So with all of our core exercises, I'm going to give you loads of different options. But general rule is, you feel like you're shaking, that's not good. That's your muscles not working as they should be. So either go for one of the options that I've given you that give you a little bit more comfort, or completely stop, take a few breaths and join back in. If you feel at any point that your jaw, or you can feel it in your jaw and your neck, that's where your head is taking the weight of what everything else has got to do. So a couple of options. You can either press your tongue into the roof of your mouth, and that just gives your brain something else to think about and just should release the tension around your jaw. Or again, stop, relax, take a few moments and join back in when you're ready. Okay. So we're going to start down here by doing what I like to call a dead bug. So if you're familiar with Pilates, you're going to recognize this one. I choose all of my core workout for those who might be suffering with lower back pain, which is something that I suffer with. So your option 1 is a tabletop with your feet, and we're going to be moving our arms and leg, opposite leg, in tandem with each other, like so, okay? If you struggle, if that's too much, you need to place one foot on the floor and just work with one arm and one leg. And I would recommend doing 8 on one side, because obviously I like everything in 8, as being a dancer, and 8 on the other, okay? If you're quite happy with working with both of them, and you want to work a little bit harder, try it with a stretched leg. Okay, so you've got some options there. We're going to take a nice deep breath. I take my feet up to tabletop, so making sure the knee and the hip are in line. I'm going to think about which arm or which leg I'm going to go first. Here I go. I go tap and tap, tap. So I'm really reaching far away with that foot. I'm encouraging my spine down towards the mat. So just encouraging it, not pressing it in flat, but really trying to keep that curve in your spine minimum. That's good. Nice deep breath, focusing up towards the ceiling. Really stretching that arm away above your head if you can, if you've not got a sofa in the way like me. We're going to do 4 more. 4. And 3. Keep pulling that belly button down towards the mat. 2. Let's encourage the spine towards the mat. Last ones. Good. Give that knees a little press. And then just stretch your feet out, your hands above your head. Take a deep breath. Good. Okay, so I'm going to bring my hands down. And we do some classic scissor kicks. So I'm just kicking one leg and then the other. Now I'm trying to have nice straight legs and pointy toes because again I'm a dancer, but it doesn't matter if your knees are a little bit soft. It doesn't matter what your feet are doing. If you want to work a bit harder, then flex your feet and really draw the heel down. Whichever you're choosing to do, the harder you're going to work is the closer that foot gets towards your mat without it making contact. So if that's too much for you, just make your scissors a little bit smaller and more in line with your hips. The further away your working legs are from your hips, the harder it's going to feel. Keep encouraging that spine down towards the mat. Lovely. Keep going if you can. Don't be afraid to stop. Take a breath and regather if it's too much. Really working those obliques now. Good, whole core workout. Pushing that spine towards the floor. We're going to do more. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. And rest. Knees in. Rest. Legs away, hands above the head. Good, good, good. Excellent. All right, I'm going to carry on. We're going to carry on our obliques vibe today. So my feet are flat on the mat. This time my fingertips are behind my ears. And I'm going across the body to meet the back of my hand with the outside of my knee. Now, before you get going, a few things I'd like you to think about. I want you to think about your lower part of your body as a clock face, with 12 being your belly button, 6 being your pubic bone, and 3 and 9 o'clock being your hip bones, okay? So as you're going, you've got to keep 3 and 9 o'clock really level and really still. Don't be letting 3 and 9 o'clock be rolling around having a party. They're keeping your shit steady, so keep them really pressed down. I want you to imagine you've got a nice juicy orange underneath your chin. So I don't want to see this. Every time you lift up, you've got to keep that orange nice and still. Keep those hips, keep 3 and 9, keep your shit steady. Keep it really placed. If you want to work a little bit harder, don't rest your head onto your cushion between reps. Keep it, your head and shoulders elevated throughout. If you want to take it an extra step, then take your feet off the mat. Okay, so you've got some options there. You can always start with your feet off the mat and put them down. When it starts to get a bit too much, you've got loads of ways to work. So I'm going to take my fingertips behind my ears. I'm thinking about that clock face, thinking about that big juicy orange. I'm reaching across the body. Ready, here we go. I go across and center. So remember, you can keep your head and shoulders elevated if you want to. Keep thinking about that 3 and 9 o'clock hip face. And if you really concentrate on it, think about them almost pulling apart because they're pressing in so hard. So they're putting distance between them, reaching out. Really working across the obliques. Chin is lifted. You can feel it in your head. Then either press your tongue into the roof of your mouth or rest and regather. You're going to do 4 more. And 3. And 2. And 1. Good. Bring your knees in. Take a breath. Send your hands above your head, legs far away. We're going to do 1 more here. And then we'll be done for our core section. So I'm going to take my hands down my side. It's a classic bicycle. So just similar to the scissor kick, but I'm leading with my heels and I'm bringing that knee in. So again, the further and the more stretched that heel is, the better. And after doing those obliques, you're going to feel this pretty quick. Okay, so make your cycle smaller if you feel like this is too much. The bigger and grander your cycles, the more you're going to feel it, as if you're treading water. Okay, if you want to work a bit harder, you can reach your fingers away towards the wall that your feet are stretching towards. If you want to continue on your obliques, you can take your elbow to your opposite knee, but make sure that you keep your elbows wide so it doesn't become like this, because that's not doing you any benefit at all, really. You've got to keep your elbows nice and wide So when you bring your elbow to knee, the opposite elbow is onto the floor. So you've got some choices there, if you're still going. We're going to do a few more. Nice deep breaths. Come on, you can do it. Come on, press further. Press right down into that clock face. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, give your knees a squeeze. Very well done. Take your hands above your head, stretching out your stomach. Just let it relax. Okay. We're going to move on to the last section before our stretch. So you can either pause your video now, if you're quite happy and you've done enough for today, or you can carry on with me so we do our whole body last section. So, if you're sticking with me, let's do it, people. Right, I'm taking myself back into my box position that I had earlier for the press-ups, okay? So we're going to be working our obliques again. There's a lot of obliques that go on, but I do feel like it works the whole shape of your centre and your strength of your centre, which is what we want. We want to be strong, we want to feel lean and healthy and good. So working the obliques helps us really achieve that. And when we're doing it in this position, it's also working your glutes and it's working your arms as well. So these are your 3 whole body exercises to finish with. So I'm in my all-4 position. I'm thinking about that natural curve in the spine and encouraging my belly button up towards my back to make my spine a little flatter. There's a space between my knees, that's very important. And I'm thinking about stretching away opposite arm to leg. Okay, so that's the position I'm going to make. And I'm going to do 8 reps of each. So decide which one you're going to do first. Making sure that your shoulder and wrist are in line. Here I go. And press. And second. And press. So I'm leading with the heel, and then my arm is right up by my ear. I'm pulling that belly button gently up towards my spine to encourage my back to be a little flatter. 2 more. Last one. Take a little rest. Just going to circle your hips round one direction. And then nice and loose, let them go around to the other direction. Good. So I'm going to do the other side. 6, 7, and I go press. Center. So I'm pulling up my belly button towards that spine. Keeping my arm by my ear. Flexing my heels. Really get the glute working. Keep going. Press. Center. Press. 2 more. Press. Center. Last one. And stop. Just take a little flow, little hip circle. This just releases the whole bottom part of your back, your lumbar region. All right, cool. Okay. Last little bit. So the last couple of things are the hardest. That's because your body's really warm. And when your body's working really hard and it's tired, that's when you get the most out of it. So it's time to dig a little deeper. Okay. So we're going to do a little dog peeing on a tree with a little press to the ceiling, okay? So you can, if you want to work this exercise a bit harder, you can tuck your toes under for each bit if you want to work a bit harder. I'm going to keep my knees on the mat, but I trust that those of you that know this sequence are quite confident with what you're doing. So I'm doing a dog peeing on a tree, I swoop it back in, I stretch straight back up, my foot is flexed, and I'm doing little dabs. They're not great, big, crazy kicks. They're little dabs. They're isolating this lower part of your glutes. The bit where you want your bum to tuck in, that bit, the tucky bit. Okay, so you're working your tucky bit. And your inner thigh, and your arms, and your core. This is a great workout. Okay, we're going to do 8 on each leg. Are you ready? 5, 6, 7. I go up. Center. Press, press, press. Now, try not to drop your chin on your chest. Try to look directly down towards your mat so that your core can do what it needs to do. That's good. 4 more. Out. Center. Press, press, press. And out. Center. Press, press, press. 2 more. Keep pulling that belly button in towards your spine. Think about that top button, pulling it in for the top button. Last one. Press, press. We'll sit back. Relax your wrists if you need to. Ready to go on the other side. Ready? Here we go. Out, center, press, 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 out, center, press, press, press. Good. So nice and long, long arms. Not some great big kick towards the ceiling. Little flourishes. Center, tap, tap, tap. 4 more. Out, center, tap, tap, tap. Pull that ab in tight. Center, tap, tap, tap. Keep going. Out, center, tap, tap, tap. Nearly there. Out, center, tap, tap, tap. Last one. Center, tap, 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 and rest. Ooh, very good. Ooh, killer, killer. So, we're going to do one more whole body. We're going to do some thrusts to finish off. So I'm going back onto my mat without the aid of a cushion this time to keep the spine nice and free, all the way down nice and flat. Then make sure there's a space between your feet, and then I walk my feet in. So my heel is about a hand's distance away from my butt. So it's a little nearer than feels comfortable. Rest your hands by your side. And we're just going to do some classic thrusts. So I'm squeezing everything in tight. Squeeze like you need a wee. Lifting my hips up into a ski slope position. Holding it there. And we roll down, down, down. Don't get to the bottom and thrust. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze and thrust. Squeeze. So don't quite get to the bottom, then go again. That's it. Down, down. Go up, down. As you're going down, you're squeezing harder. Up, down. That's good. Nice deep breath. And up, down, down, down. And up, down, down, down. Keep going. Up, down, down. 2 more times. Up. Squeeze, squeeze. Last one. Up. Squeeze, squeeze. And rest. Give your knees a squeeze. Oh, excellent. Okay. So that's the end of the last whole body section. Now we're going to have a stretch. So if you're mixing this up and chopping and changing, then you can pause now. Just be careful, like with any of the sections, if you're doing a lot of exercise and then not doing anything to just stretch a little bit, you might end up being a bit stiff. So just be mindful. But if you're happy to stick with, let's do a stretch. So I'm going to move to the end of my mat. I'm making a crouched shape like so. I take my fingers for a walk. And as I take my fingers for a walk, my knees separate to allow some space for my torso to lean down. So this is just releasing the very lowest part of your lumbar region. So if I drop my chin on my chest, and I really want you to imagine your tailbone almost growing down towards your back. You've got to counterbalance yourself by stretching out this way and reaching down. Now you might find that your heels get to the mat, that's great. Mine do not yet. But they will, eventually. Then I drop my chin on my chest, and I'm rocking forward. So I swing my knees back to parallel. I'm stretching out the underneath of my toes, and then I'm dropping back to try and get my heels in towards the mat, stretching out my back and my Achilles. So I'm just reaching forwards and back. So it's a nice rocking motion, almost like you're trying to stretch out your whole of your back, getting some extra space between each vertebrae. I'm going to do a couple more here. And then I'm going to just take my right foot forward into a lunge. So you can rest your knee on the floor, walk yourself out so that your right foot is flat. It's really important that your ankle bone and your knee are in a nice straight line, and then you stretch out from there, okay? Not here. If you're very far, if your knee is further forward than your toes, you're not going to be getting quite the same stretch. So you've got to work it out so that your ankle and your knee are in line with each other. Now, it doesn't matter if you're resting up on your, resting up on your thigh or resting down towards the mat, whichever is more comfortable. What is important is that you're not hunching over. You're really stretching because you're in a stretch. So it's as if I've got someone's got hold of my ponytail and they're pulling my back nice and long. And at the same time, I'm pushing down and really stretching and lifting the knee to increase the stretch behind the knee. Nice, big, heavy, imaginary hand on the base of your spine and the top of your pelvis, really stretching out this hip flexor in here. Good. Then very carefully, however you need to get there, you're going to bring yourself into a parallel stretch. It doesn't matter how you get there. My toes are pointing in this direction. My hips are pointing in this direction. And when I'm there, you want to feel a gentle stretch of the backs of your legs. So wherever you need to go to feel that stretch, you might be here, resting on your thigh. Don't rest on your knee, whatever you do. That's not going to do much good on the pressure for the joint. So either on your thigh or your shin, or if you're able to, right down here. If you're upside down like I am and you can drop your chin on your chest, then do, just to release your neck, get an extra stretch. Keeping those hips nice and square. And then reverse it back. So my knee is on the mat, and I release my toe this time. I'm going to press my hand on my thigh and scoop my hand up. So see how far I'm pushing forward to get some space in this hip flexor here. My arm goes with it, my eye line goes up. And then I breathe out as I lunge forward. Be careful not to take your shoulder towards your earlobe. Pull your shoulder down into the space of the spine. So I'm getting a nice stretch from this fingertip all the way down to this knee that's on the floor. Really nice. Then bring it back to my crouch position at the beginning, so we can do the whole thing leading with the opposite leg. So to begin with, I take my fingers for a walk, my knees separate, my chin drops on my chest. I rock forward, I rock back. Nice and easy. That's good. Lovely. So just take a few of those in your own time. Really stretching out underneath the feet and the Achilles. And then when you're ready, just taking my left foot forward this time, thinking about that nice right angle between my ankle and my knee, and then stretching out that leg behind and dropping my pelvis down. Nice long back, doesn't matter where you are, whether you're over your thigh or down towards your mat. Nice long, straight back. As if you're about to win a race. Start a race, well, you're definitely going to win it. Really pushing into that heel, pulling up behind your knee, stretching out. Good. Okay, so then we're going to take it back into that parallel stretch. So it doesn't matter how you get there. Find your parallel stretch, get your hips nice and square. So we do have a tendency to be a bit wonky. So I have really got to work hard to make sure that my hips stay in line. I can feel a gentle stretch of the back of this leg. And as I rock forward, I'm going to find where it's comfortable, where I can feel it up the backs of both legs. So I'm quite happy going down towards the floor. Doesn't matter where you are, just don't put any pressure on your knee. Drop your chin on your chest if you are upside down like I am. Take a little breather. And then rebound. Rest your knee. Rest your toes. I'm going to take a nice deep breath. And breathing out, lunging forward. Bringing my shoulder blades down into the base of my spine. Really pressing as far forward as I can, as if someone's pressing me here. Squaring off those hips. Nice long back. That's good. Now this time we're going to bring our feet together once more. To our little crouch. That's it. We're going to have a whole backs of the legs stretch. So I'm going to send my nose down. Just a gentle extension down towards the mat, as if I'm trying to see something. And then I lift my tailbone up towards the ceiling. I'm folding myself in half. Drop your chin on your chest. Make sure you're really looking at your knees. Look at your knees. When was the last time you looked at your knees like this? That's good. So just relaxing. As relaxing as a stretch can be. I'm obviously able to touch the floor. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're here, that's fine. Just make sure that you're nice and relaxed. Let gravity do some of the work for you now. And then when you're ready, if you're able, gentle circles around your feet. So we're just stretching out those sides. Well, you've done all that work on your Achilles. Gentle and relaxing. Nice and flowy. Keep looking at those knees if you can. Try not to get transfixed by your hands. Coming back to center. Softening your knees. Grab hold of your shoulder blades. Give yourself a big hug. Tuck your chin into your chest and then slowly uncurl. Head is last of all. I'm just going to turn to face you as I come up. I take the jumper off. Stretching up and out. Good. Take a little shoulder roll. Good. I'm going to take a few deep breaths to finish off. So I'm stretching up. And down. And up. This time we're going to take your hands to halfway. I'm going to take this hand across. I grab in behind and I just wrap it across the body. Be careful not to put any pressure on your elbow. Either grab by your wrists, perfectly fine, or above, but I would go for wrist. And then just look away from that hand that you're grabbing hold of. Nice and easy. Try and relax in your glutes. And release. And again, little breath in, arms stop at the sides. Reach across, grab hold of this wrist, and bring it over, looking away from that wrist. Gentle pullers over. And relax. Nice deep breath, both together, all the way up. And out. Good. And take one hand and the other. Very nice, excellent, well done. I hope you've enjoyed doing it today. I hope it's given you something and an opportunity to, if you miss a tone time, you're able to join live, then you can at least do it in your own time. And like I say, chop up the exercises, do little 10 minutes here and there. All of the exercises are for beginners. Just do as much as you feel confident doing, hopefully increasing it a little bit every couple of goes as your flexibility, range of movement and stamina improve. But thank you for tuning in and hope to see you at ACE Dance Studio soon. Thank you.